just seeing the group that was hugging at the end of that goal was pretty cool. Petrovic, just guys who really have to fight to be important.
Yeah, it was great. I had a great shift there, and Mush got a nice tip on it. So, yeah, it was a great feeling. Really responded well as a group in the third. Mason and Steeler and I got going at a couple of good shifts there. So it was a really good, team effort. Second and a lot of the third.
What do you think has made you guys be better as the game goes along? It seems like you kind of settle in and
Yeah, I think that lead, once we got that lead, I didn't feel like we gave up many chances after that. So I think we played really well with the lead. We've gotten better throughout the playoffs of, having that lead and playing with it. And we needed, to wake up as a group and get back to our game. And I thought we did that in the second and third. And, I think we still have another level that we can get to. But, the way we responded after a tough first period, that was well done.
Seems like there's a lot of emphasis with you guys of not taking penalties against the Oilers because of just how good their power play is, I suppose. How is that, being communicated from Pete and his staff, and what precisely goes into that?
Yeah, I think we've been working on it a lot. We've played some great power plays. Vegas, Colorado, a lot of top end skill, and Edmonton's just another level of that with some elite skill. So they have a great power play, and we know that. It's part of the playoffs is staying out of the box. Checking with your legs and making smart decisions. In those battles, and not having opportunities where they can call stuff. So you got to stay out of the box in playoffs and play smart, and I think we've done a good job of that thus far.
Do you feel like refs are a little bit more lenient, allowing you guys to do more, a little bit? Do you kind of walk that fine line than the regular season nowadays?
Yes and no. It's playoffs. That's the way playoffs is and has been for a while. It's hard. It's another level of heavy and hard and physical, and so that's the way the playoffs is.
How much different is this team under the second year of the coaching staff? I know you added Misha, and just seems like I was talking to Pete about it. He just says it's easier. People know what to expect.
Yeah, routines. How coaches respond, what they expect out of us. It's all more routine. We have a lot of confidence in them. We know how they operate. It's been 2 years now, and they've been great every step of the way. So a lot of confidence in them. I think they have a lot of confidence in us, and it's a good relationship, I feel.
Do you feel that in the playoffs, especially like in third periods, overtime, stuff like that? It seems like you guys are very calm.
Yeah. It's part of our veteran group. You lose game one, lose any game.
Yeah.
You can't ride those ups and downs, those highs and lows. You got to stay level-headed, and our leaders do a great job of guiding us through that, I would say. So just bouncing back, responding, that's all you can do when you lose a game is move on and get ready for the next one. And as a younger guy or, some younger guys on the team, we're harder on ourselves, and that can last longer than it needs to, but they show us, tell us you got to move on quick and be ready to bounce back.
Yeah, I think it was just a good shot on net by Suits. He kept the puck in there a couple times as well. It was a good forecheck by the other three guys, and Marchie's at the net and had a nice tip. And it's kind of the goals we got to score, and at this time of year.
Did you grow up as an Oilers fan?
I actually grew up as a Dallas fan.
Yeah, back in the day, because I know there's a generation that all Oilers fans, and then they weren't very good. I'm assuming when you guys were growing up there, and you were a Stars fan.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the Oilers in Dallas. They were always fighting it off in the playoffs. Usually the first round. Dallas was usually the top team. Edmonton was I think the 8th seed or whatever. But I just remember watching them, and just loved watching Dallas. Mike Modano and Sergei Zubov and Richard Matvichuk. He's actually from kind of where I'm from, Fort Saskatchewan. So it was fun watching those guys. So it definitely caught my eye.
What's it gonna be like playing in that building in a playoff game against the Oilers?
It's gonna be crazy. I know it gets loud in there. A lot of passionate fans. I got a lot of family that are Oiler fans and whatnot. But I think they're rooting for us, and you know, it's going to be pretty exciting.
Is your phone blowing up with ticket requests? Or?
A little bit, yeah. Not too bad though. I think just close family we got coming, and you know, I'll have some other friends going there as well, so it'll be a good time.
What do you remember about your time with the Oilers?
Good. I mean, you know, I got traded there, you know, around January. It was actually the new year. You know, I didn't really put in my best effort. I didn't think you know, I took advantage of that opportunity, and you know, ran into some injury issues too. So, but they were in a playoff push at that point, and you know, they had some guys that were rolling. So it was cool to, you know, practice against, you know, Draisaitl, McDavid, a lot of those guys, just to see you know, how they work day in, day out, and you know, I just took some of that stuff, and you know, I use that nowadays.
Game 7 and then Game 2, both you guys really played better as the game went on. What have you seen from this group, and how do they do that?
I think just maturity level. I think, you know, great character, great leadership in that room. The coaches, you know, they put a good game plan in place, and you know, I think everyone just follows that. And yeah, it's going to be ups and downs, but I think for the most part, guys, they just keep their mindset neutral, and you know, just try to focus on that next shift.
Is that contagious, like on the bench?
Yeah, for sure. I think you can just kind of feel that energy. You know, it's never too up, never too down. It's you know, it's a good feeling. It's, you know, even if you're one of the guys that make a mistake or whatever, you come back, everyone's calm and cool, and you know, just get ready for your next shift.
All season, guys in the room have been talking about how close this group is and how easy it is for you guys to come into the locker room. You haven't been here all season, then you come in the height of the playoffs. What's it been like, kind of assimilating to the group?
It's good. Yeah, you know, like you said, everyone's welcoming. Everyone's got you know, it's a good group of guys. You know, when we're on the road, we have team dinners and whatnot, and you know, it's very easy. I remember just, you know, coming to training camp and meeting guys, you know, 3 years ago, and you know, just seeing a lot of familiar faces. So I think you know, I'm used to it now. Good.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thanks.
These are guys who play good defense and don't get penalized.
Yeah, and we've done it all year and all playoffs. So yeah, I don't understand that narrative. You know, I think we're playing the same way we've played all year, and the refs are calling it the same way they've called it all year on us.
What's the process of being that team? Is it, like I said, is it just personnel, or is it something you know, since training camp you guys emphasize these things?
No, I think it's I think it's part personnel and part mindset on how we want to play every night. You know, we want to check with our legs and stick on puck, and you know, we don't get into a lot of scrums after the whistle and things like that unless we're standing up for a teammate or doing something like that. So, you know, but at the same time, you know, we play a hard, physical, heavy brand of hockey, and you know, we make no apologies for that.
There's been a couple of games now where Wyatt Johnston hasn't actually popped a goal yet. Have you noticed the opposition giving him a little bit more attention defensively, or do you think this is just kind of the ebbs and flows of it?
Yeah. You know what? I think different responsibilities with Rupe Hins out of the lineup. You know, we've asked him to play more head-to-head against McDavid, McKinnon. You know, so there's more defensive heavy lifting with that. You know, I thought last night we got him away from McDavid a little bit, put that on some other people, and freed him up a little bit offensively, which is important. So, you know, he's important at both ends of the rink for us, but, you know, I think he has a little more freedom offensively when Rupe's in the lineup, just because, you know, that's the matchup that he gets. He doesn't have to do that defensive heavy lifting that Rupe usually does.
And I've got your regularly scheduled ropey hints.
Yeah.
Update.
Yeah, you know, traveling, gonna pregame skate tomorrow, and I would call him a game time decision. I'm optimistic he's gonna play on this trip for sure.
How close was he to playing yesterday?
He was close. You know, skated at the morning skate, and you know, had it been a game 7, I think he probably would have played.
And Hakanpää? Anything?
No.
Not on this trip?
Not on the trip. So, no.
Serious?
I don't know. We'll see. The fact he's not traveling with us tells you he's not going to play the next 2 games. So he's continuing to rehab here in Frisco, and we'll keep monitoring that. But until he rejoins us and starts to travel with us, he's not close.
Robertson said yesterday morning, somebody asked him about something. He goes, "Well, we're a different team than we were last year," and it kind of hit me like, you really are a lot. This is your second year as a coaching staff. You guys added Misha. I think guys like Harley, guys like Wyatt. I mean, this second year of being like, you really are a different team than you were last year. And it's interesting. Have you looked at all of how much you guys have learned this year in your second year under the program?
Yeah, well, there's no doubt we're a different team. We're a deeper team. We're a better team. I'm sure Edmonton's saying the same thing about them. But having been here working with the group for 2 years in a row as a staff, I think we're all better for that continuity.
Do you feel that in different moments in third
I do.
periods or overtime or things like that?
Well, yeah, not just there, but just getting to our game quickly, resetting our game quicker, getting back to our foundation, if we have an off night, when you've been hearing the same things for 2 years, you can get back to that foundation quicker than you can, when it's new to you.
Being from Edmonton, we've admired Miro from afar, just what he does, but he looks like he's on the ice every second shift. Just maybe can you just have a thought on just how special a player he is? And how much he means to your team?
You take him for granted, he's just because he's so low maintenance, and you spend so little time in video working with him because he makes so few mistakes, and yet we ask him to do so much. He's got the puck on his stick most of the game, bringing it up the ice all the time on the power play, playing against the other team's best players. He does all that work, that tireless work, really under the radar, and invaluable to our success. If you look at just the playoff trail so far, what we've asked him to do against the three teams we've played, world class.
There's a couple of occasions when McDavid took him on, Draisaitl took
Mm-hmm.
him on, and it was almost like, he just took the puck away.
Yeah, he enjoys those matchups. Like, you can tell he wants like all great players, they want, to challenge themselves against the best players in the world. And he has that inner competitiveness to him. It was the same last round going against McKinnon and head to head with Makar. Okay, thank you.